This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilkes.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story tonight, the alarming number of opioid cases here on the Suncoast. In just the first 3 months of 2017, Manatee County has had 276 drug overdoses, with 36 of those being fatal.
The epidemic is now catching the attention of leaders in Tallahassee, prompting Governor Rick Scott to direct state agencies to identify ways to fight this deadly issue. ABC7's Erica Jackson was at today's opioid abuse workshop at the Bradenton Area Convention Center, and she joins us from there live tonight. Erica.
Good evening, Scott and Haley. Manatee County commissioners are working to confront the problem head on, but those directly impacted by opioid abuse want state leaders to work with the public and find the best solution.
If I were to go back into that lifestyle, I would die.
Dana Damstra is recovering from heroin and opiate addiction. She's almost 2 years sober and is sharing her near-death experience to help the state of Florida battle the epidemic.
It took 3 shots of Narcan and like 22 minutes of them working on me to revive me.
The price of recovery is costing Florida big bucks. The American Addiction Treatment Association reports struggling addicts rack up more than $1 billion per year in hospital charges, an average of $4 million per day. And over a 6-year period, taxpayers paid almost $4 billion of the $5.7 billion bill through Medicaid and Medicare. The Department of Children and Families, Florida Department of Health, and Department of Law Enforcement are hearing from those in recovery about possible solutions to reduce the cost and number of overdose deaths on the Suncoast.
They have the best information, and that's why I say my son has been my best teacher.
Julia Negron with the Suncoast Harm Reduction Project is the mother of a recovering addict and a recovering addict herself. She says state leaders need to listen to patients like those speaking publicly Tuesday morning and consider declaring a public health emergency in Florida.
Just having available medication-assisted treatment for people that was maybe funded by counties or areas would cut down on overdose and deaths enormously.
But Manatee County Sheriff Rick Wells ensures families that stopping these deadly drugs at the source is a top priority.
I have absolutely no tolerance for a drug dealer that is selling fentanyl and carfentanil to people knowing that it is going to kill them.
This is one of 4 workshops planned by Governor Rick Scott in the state. Others in Palm Beach, Duval, and Orange counties will take place throughout the week. Reporting live in Manatee County, I'm Erica Jackson. Scott and Haley, back to you.
All right, Erica, thank you so much. Right now, Florida lawmakers are working on passing a new law to address the rise in opioid overdoses, but they're moving away from imposing mandatory minimum sentences for people caught with fentanyl. State senators voting today to send the House an amended bill that would give judges discretion to break from the 3-year mandatory minimum sentence for someone caught with more than 4 grams of fentanyl. The vote following a debate on whether criminalizing fentanyl is a more effective solution than rehabilitation and education programs.
Now to a local murder case we've been following for a year and a half now. A Northport man will spend the next 45 years in prison for murdering his infant son. Joseph Walsh pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and aggravated child abuse for the death of his 7-week-old son, Chance Walsh. Investigators say on September 16th of 2015, Walsh abused the child and suffocated him by putting a baby wipe down his throat. During the investigation, Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies arrested the baby's mother, Kristen Berry Walsh. She was sentenced to 25 years for aggravated manslaughter of a child. As part of her plea, she was required to testify against Joseph Walsh, but she committed suicide before the trial began.
A Venice man is behind bars tonight, accused of selling drugs out of his home. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies say they received more than a dozen complaints about drug activity in a home on Hillview Drive since November. They say Michael Layton was selling methamphetamine and fentanyl out of the home. He's now charged with maintaining a nuisance dwelling and an expired license. Florida Power and Light employees in the hospital tonight after being shocked on the job site in Sarasota County. Sarasota County fire officials say the 61-year-old man was working on a power pole on Surrey Court near Nathan Benderson Park around 1 o'clock this afternoon when he was shocked. The man was taken to Sarasota Memorial Hospital. His condition is unknown.
After a state of local emergency was declared last week due to the ongoing drought, Manatee County has decided to extend its burn ban by 7 days. Currently, much of southwest Florida is at a high risk of wildfires, and fire officials say conditions are getting worse instead of better. During the ban, outside burning, including campfires, flares, and even fireworks, are prohibited. Anyone violating the ban is not only guilty of a misdemeanor in the 2nd degree, but will have to reimburse the county for expenses incurred as the result of a violation.
The smallest little fire that someone goes out and starts, maybe they're burning just some leaves or some brush, and they don't think it's a big deal, but we get this wind, and this wind picks it up and just takes it away, and before you know it, you've got the woods on fire.
As part of the burn ban, certain activities such as the use of outdoor cookers and grills are permitted as long as there is supervision.
A high turnover rate in the Northport Fire Department has some community members concerned. Right now, the city is down 5 firefighters. ABC7's Christopher Brownlee has more from Northport.
Good evening. This is about to become the newest fire station for the city of Northport, replacing an old trailer the firefighters had been operating out of before. And we found out this isn't the only change.
Our population has grown. It's just more imperative that we have the coverage that we need.
Northport resident Catherine Lanza wants to see more firefighters hired in the city, and it seems she may be getting her wish.
We actually have 7 brand new employees that are going through physicals right this week. We expect to start them May 15th.
7 new firefighters are replacing the 5 the city has lost recently. One of them retired, but 4 others moved on to other agencies.
The 4 people we lost were paramedics that went to local agencies, Charlotte and Sarasota County, and those people transitioned to those agencies for whatever their reasons were.
The chief suggests at least one reason may be pay. Firefighters and paramedics are likely to make more money in larger agencies. There's 18 months left on the contract between the city and fire union. Already some firefighters want to renegotiate for more money, something Lanza is in support of.
You know, there's more involved than that, and I understand that pensions and other things, everything costs money. But yes, I would say increasing the pay.
A boost in pay may help a nationwide issue, finding paramedics.
There's just not enough paramedics in the United States and in the state of Florida right now to fill all the recruiting needs.
No word if the contracts will be renegotiated, but we do know the city has approved the hiring of an additional 6 staff members on top of the 7 being hired now. That, with the new fire station being built, it seems the department is actually expanding. According to the fire chief, the plan here is to have this new building up and running by August. In Northport, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Now for a check on our forecast, we actually saw a little bit of rain in some areas, and we need even more.
Loved it at my house last night. Here's Bob with more.
Yeah, some areas is key there. Not everyone got the rain, but it did fall, especially in South Sarasota County and Charlotte County, where they had a little bit more, and now into Highlands County. Yesterday up to nearly 3 inches with some inland storms yesterday, and now that's where the main focus of storms is right now. And you can see this thin line of clouds now making its way through. That's a very weak cold front. Behind it, drier air has now pushed in and will continue to do so. So don't expect much more rain near the coast. Some inland storms will be winding down. Right now we have 87 degrees, lots of sunshine, at least at the airport. Dew point is at 70 and winds are out of the west at 12. The pressure 2996. Now the review of the radar picture showing the showers around this morning, a lot into Hillsborough County and then just a little bit into Manatee County this afternoon. There's that thin line of showers which is all but gone, with the heaviest rain by far well inland. There's a stronger cold front on the way and a little bit more widespread rainfall for us. We'll talk about the timing of that one coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. The search is on for a missing 5-year-old girl from Marion County, Florida. A statewide Amber Alert has been issued for 5-year-old Alexandria Green. According to law enforcement, the little girl was last seen in Dunellen, which is northwest of Orlando. She was wearing dark shorts and an orange T-shirt. She could be in the company of 55-year-old Alan Green and 47-year-old Mekaline Mizakis. They could be driving an old blue Scion. Anyone with information is urged to contact law enforcement.
Well, up arrows across the board today on Wall Street. ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now with the details. Hi, Richard.
Hello, Scott. It's always nice to see the up arrows, although I confess it was really a rather quiet day, but we did finish with gains across the board. The Federal Reserve is meeting both today and tomorrow. Most people expect that they won't make any decision about interest rates, but we'll find that out at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. What most people also expect is they will raise interest rates at their meeting in June. So we'll have to see what comes of that. But frankly, when it's expected, it's usually not a very big deal. Very small range, the Dow up 47, down 11. Not much going on, but let's take a look at the figures and you'll see the arrows are indeed up. Dow up 36 points, not quite 0.2% at 20,949.89. That on volume of 644 million shares. The NASDAQ, be it ever so humble, that's another record. Up 4 points, not even 0.1% at 6,095.37. That on volume of 1,508 million shares. And the S&P up as well, 0.1%, but less than 3 points at 2,391.17. Well, if it looks to you like consumers are feeling good about things and spending money, I think you're exactly right. And we got affirmation of that today from no less than MasterCard. MasterCard said its earnings for the quarter were far better than expected. They posted earnings of $1.01. That versus 95 cents, which most people had been looking for. Their profits for the quarter were up by more than 12%. So far this year, the stock is up by 13%. In the last 12 months, it's up by 20%. And Haley and Scott, a number that I absolutely could not believe. I double-checked it. There are 2.4 billion MasterCards currently in circulation.
All right, a lot of credit cards. Yes. And Richard, you have some news on Apple.
Yes, they announced their earnings at 4:30, so of course no impact on the market until tomorrow. They did announce a 10% increase in their dividend. They've got more than $250 billion in cash. And remember that iPhone 8 is going to show up some point, probably early fall.
And 10th anniversary of the iPhone.
There you go.
Could be a big one.
Yep. All right, Richard, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, a plea deal for a former South Carolina police officer. What's next for the ex-cop who fatally shot an unarmed black man in a video that went viral?
And ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. And a medication that could help reduce your risk of breast cancer is probably already in your medicine cabinet. That's in Health Smart.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
Come into a California Closet showroom to experience our quality materials and construction. Spend time choosing from exciting colors, textures, and accessories, and then collaborate with one of our expert designers to create the perfect custom storage solution to fit your style and budget. At California Closets, we design everything to exceed your expectations for any room in your home. Go to CaliforniaClosets.com to request a free design consultation and locate the nearest showroom to you. California Closets, designed to your life.
The Wild Broadway series at the Players Center brings you the classic farce, Boeing, Boeing. It's the 1960s, and our swingin' bachelor is juggling 3 beautiful stewardesses from 3 competing airlines. But what happens when Boeing produces a faster plane? Comedy ensues. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. Opening April 26th, it's Boeing, Boeing.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Now to dramatic developments in a racially charged case that put policing in the spotlight.
Former South Carolina cop Michael Slager pleading guilty today in federal court to civil rights violations in the 2015 shooting death of Walter Scott. ABC's Ariel Reshef is following the story.
This chilling video sparking a nationwide outcry in 2015. Walter Scott seen running from then South Carolina officer Michael Slager after a traffic stop. The white cop shooting the 51-year-old unarmed black man multiple times from more than a dozen feet away, killing him. For nearly 2 years since, Slager has claimed he opened fire in self-defense.
I fired until the threat was stopped, like I'm trying to do.
A jury unable to reach a verdict in the South Carolina murder and manslaughter case against Slager, leading to a mistrial.
Yanks on it with both hands.
But today, a major reversal from the 35-year-old ex-officer entering a guilty plea in federal court to violating Scott's civil rights.
Federal prosecutors opting not to speak publicly about this plea deal. Slager was led away from the hearing in handcuffs. Ariel Reshef, ABC News, New York.
Severe floods shutting down interstate highways in Missouri. Flooding prompted the closure of this section of Interstate 44 in St. Louis County just before midnight on Monday. Now officials are planning to close a section of I-55 overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. Missouri transportation officials say the flooding is having a historic impact on the roadway system in the St. Louis region. 3 sections of I-44 are closed, and the flooding prompted the closure of at least 300 other roads across the state.
Complete opposite problem here.
Yeah, quite a contrast.
Yeah.
The rain that fell over the weekend, the big concern there, and there's more storms developing over the central U.S., which is going to only cause more problems for flooding in that particular area. Anna Maria webcam, well, no flood, but just to check out the around 1:30, we saw a little drop on the lens there, just for a brief period of time, and then it moved on. Manatee County not getting as much as Sarasota County, but really Charlotte County getting the bulk of the rainfall, as well as into Highlands County today as a result of a frontal system. And still some pretty heavy storms still firing up into the central portions of our viewing area, into Highlands County right now, into eastern portions of Hardy and DeSoto counties. Not much left along the coastline. You can see that near Wauchula, some rainfall spreading down south. And to the east, some very heavy storms now into southern portions of Highlands County, and looks like that continues to push off to the east. Now you'll notice what happens here. This little line that develops is the outflow boundary from these heavy storms. So what happens is the rain comes down very heavy, it cools, and then the air rushes out ahead of it, creating a little convergence zone up, and that's what we're getting right here with some of these storms developing. Some of these may eventually work their way toward the coast. Now Scott mentioned he had some rain earlier today, and I won't tell you exactly where he lives, but you can see it's Sarasota County right there near US 41 all the way out to I-75 near Clark Road northward to University at about 0.2 of an inch, not nearly as much into Manatee County. These are estimates from the Doppler radar site. Near Northport and places around there, over an inch of rainfall. And I mentioned into South Sarasota and the western portions of Charlotte County. Look at that, 2.2 near Englewood or just to the east, and 3.4 near Rotunda. So a lot of rain did fall in some isolated areas. Now what we're looking at is the visible satellite imagery showing, as I mentioned, for the most part, all the rain over for the immediate coastline. For the most part, there's a slight chance that outflow boundary may create a few isolated cells late tonight. You can see that outflow boundary quite visible there. Spreading through central portions of Hardy and DeSoto counties. It will work off to the west, and there, as I said, the rain chance at about 20% through this evening. 87 degrees right now, west winds at 12, and the pressure 299.6 inches, still fairly high. In the forecast tomorrow, calling for a return of A lot of sunshine and temperatures warming into the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. And we'll look for cooler weather that'll make its way into our region beginning on Friday. Here's what's happening, at least the RPM forecast model suggesting a few evening showers possible. And then tomorrow looks good, mixture of sun and clouds, more sun than clouds as the front fades away. There could be a few scattered storms along the sea breeze front tomorrow, mainly to our south. And then here comes the front. Moisture will start to increase across Florida, and this depicting a rather intense line of storms in the Gulf of Mexico on 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. So it won't be until late Thursday night and more so Friday morning that we'll have a significant chance of getting a more widespread rainfall event here covering most of our viewing area. And that happens on Friday specifically. The front itself extending all the way down again, all the way through our area, a large area of low pressure too over the northeast, still spinning around in parts of the Midwest and throughout the Great Lakes. And then out west, some snow falling in some of the higher elevations of the central and northern Rockies. For boaters tomorrow, not too bad out there. Winds will be out of the southeast to start today, 5 to 10 knots. There'll be a light chop, and the water temperature now 84. It's really warming up. UV index at a 10, and look for a high temperature. The beach is right around 85. Low tide upcoming 2:28, 9:54 in the morning, and then partly cloudy. Showers ending 67 for a low, and then for tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny, warm. A chance for a few late day showers or storms. A high of 89, and the extended forecast is calling for better chances for rain on Friday morning at 60%. Some of those storms could be strong. We'll have to watch it. Turning breezy and cooler for the weekend. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Roadways looking really good at this hour. No crashes in the area. And look at I-75. It's just about all green at this hour. That's certainly nice to see. Haley?
And surprising. Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, exploding head syndrome. It sounds like something you would call your worst headache, but it is a real condition. People who have it hear the loud sound of an object crashing to the ground or a bright flash of light when they're falling asleep, even though those things didn't actually happen. And now a new study in the journal Cephalalgia is exploring the condition further by interviewing people who have it. Part of the process of falling asleep involves shutting down the auditory neurons responsible for hearing. Scientists think when someone has exploding head syndrome, instead of the neurons shutting down, something causes them to fire at once, leading to those phantom loud noises. Taking a low-dose aspirin could lower your risk of breast cancer. In a study in the journal Breast Cancer Research, women who took 3 low-dose aspirin a week had a 20% lower risk of some of the most common forms of the disease. Low-dose aspirin has been shown in previous studies to help reduce colon cancer risk. But do talk to your doctor before starting to take one, because some people, including those with bleeding diseases, should not take aspirin. Coming up, a brawl caught on camera. What got these passengers so fired up that they started duking it out mid-flight. Plus, a special competitor in the Kentucky Derby. What sets this horse apart from the rest? That's straight ahead.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies.
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPV.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
An airline brawl caught on camera on a flight out of Japan. Passenger Corey Auer recorded 2 other passengers fighting before takeoff on an all-Nippon Airways flight from Tokyo to Los Angeles. He said the man in the red Hawaiian shirt began punching the man in the black shirt. Auer says the man walked away but then came back and started hitting the other man again. Airline workers escorted the man in the red shirt off the plane. Airport police say a drunk passenger was arrested at the airport. A Minnesota dream home turns into a nightmare after a family moves into a house full of snakes. Angie Whitley bought a split-level home outside of Minneapolis, and just hours after moving in, she spotted a snake in her bedroom. Well, 6 months later, she has found, get this, nearly 100 snakes in the house. A local pest control company is helping Whitley. She spent more than $13,000 trying to remedy the slithery situation.
How do you sleep? Oh, okay. Well, race fans are getting ready for Saturday's Kentucky Derby, and a favorite on the leaderboard is Patch, a one-eyed colt. Patch's trainer says he has had his left eye removed last June because of an inflammation problem. Since the surgery, Patch has raced a few times, finishing as the runner-up at last month's Louisiana Derby.
Well, you would never know it. None of the riders ever feel him carrying himself any differently, and you know, even in his first start, he was behind horses, dirt in his face, and I was amazed at how well he handled all that.
Patch is the son of Belmont Stakes winner Union Rags and even has his own Twitter handle, @PatchHorse.
So would you drink soda made from pickle juice? Well, one candy shop thinks you will. Grandpa Joe's Candy Shop, which has locations in Pennsylvania and Ohio, says it will begin selling bottled pickle juice soda made with pure cane sugar. It comes in 12-ounce glass bottles and is not cheap, $2.50 per bottle at the store and nearly $10 a bottle if you buy it online. No thanks.
I like pickles. I love that sour kind of taste, but I just do not want to drink it in a soda. I just eat the pickle. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, a mass shooting threat leads to a lockdown at a Suncoast middle school. Deputies and school officials work together to quickly arrest the teen they say is responsible.
Plus, the work and dedication it takes to keep our students and staff safe. Up next, we take you behind the badge with our school resource officers.
It took a lot of work and dedication for 7 teachers to start our credit union and create a foundation that we continue to build on today. At Achieva, we never lose sight of the values that have defined us for over 75 years, and that's good to know. Achieva, banking for good.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
The official salon of ABC7.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried, Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Everyone loves a bright and cheerful smile. Not everyone can find the dental care they need and can afford. Now there's a place nearby where anyone can receive professional quality dental care at an affordable cost. The LECOM School of Dental Medicine in Lakewood Ranch is now accepting patients. You will receive your care in comfortable, state-of-the-art treatment rooms. To schedule your appointment, please call the LECOM Dental Group practices, 941-405-1600. We will be happy to see you smiling again.
Come into a California Closet showroom to experience our quality materials and construction. Spend time choosing from exciting colors, textures, and accessories, and then collaborate with one of our expert designers to create the perfect custom storage solution to fit your style and budget. At California Closets, we design everything to exceed your expectations for any room in your home. Go to CaliforniaClosets.com to request a free design consultation and locate the nearest showroom to you. California Closets, designed to your life.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
It took a lot of work and dedication for 7 teachers to start our credit union and create a foundation that we continue to build on today. At Achieva, we never lose sight of the values that have defined us for over 75 years, and that's good to know. Achieva, banking for good.